So in this video, I wanted to talk about converting Canadian to US in your trading account. So this is a great way I came across via a subscriber. I actually didn't know about this. It's called the Norbert Gambit. So it's a great way to convert at the current spot price. So right now, 1 USD is converting at $1.29 Canadian. So if you want to convert at that price and avoid conversion fees, so usually a broker, if you convert with a broker directly, like Questrade, if you've got Canadian and you want to convert to US, what's going to happen is you're not going to be, if you have $1,000, you're not going to be getting 775 US. If you have $1,000, you're going to be getting 763 US. So Questrade charges about 1.5% of conversion fee. So instead of getting 775, you're getting 763. Some other brokers charge even more. So a reason I like to use Questrade, one of the reasons I like Questrade is because of their conversion. If I ever need to buy US right away, when I convert with Questrade, it's much cheaper than if I convert with Investor's Edge, because the same is true when you convert back. So with the Norbert Gambit way, you can actually avoid any conversion fees from your broker. The way it works is by buying and selling an ETF called DLR.to. So you buy the ETF called DLR.to, you call your broker and you ask them to journal it to an ETF called DLR-U.to. So it's from the same company, Horizons Beta. It's an ETF obviously that represents the or tracks the US and Canadian dollar. So as you can see, the DLR-U.to is trading at $10 right now. And if we look at the DLR.to, it's trading at 12.94, which gives us exactly our spot rate right now. So 12.94 divided by 10.01 gives us 1.2927. So if you go back to our spot rate, you've got 1.29351. So so this is how you can convert using the exact spot rate of the day. So for example, if you have $1,000 and you want to convert to US, you're going to buy some DLR.to ETFs. So right now it's trading at 12.94. So you're going to divide 1,000 divided by 12.94. So it's going to give you 77 shares of DLR.to. Now, as soon as you do that, you have to contact your broker. With questions, you can call them by phone or even chat with them and ask them to journal. Ask them to journal ask them to journal your DLR.to into DLR-U.to. So what's going to happen is you had 77 shares, I believe. Yeah, so you had 77 shares of DLR.to because you bought $1,000 with $1,000 Canadian, you bought these ETFs at 12.94, so it gives you 77 shares. When you journal them into DLR-U.to, you're still going to have 77 shares, but it's going to be valued at DLR-U.to, going to be valued at 10.01. So you're going to take your 77 shares times 10.01, and you're going to have $770 US. So this is going to be 770 US. And that's assuming you sell at the price of 10.01, at the price that you journaled at the price it was trading at when you initially made the request to journal it. So for $1,000, you could see that we saved about $7 of fees. So obviously, if the amount is bigger, it's going to add up. But the issue I have with the Norbit Gambit is, first of all, it takes almost 5 business days for all this to settle. So after you make the request to Questrade, let's say, to journal your DLR.to shares to DLR-U.to, you won't actually hold the DLR-U until almost after 5 business days. So between the request and between you actually receive the shares, this stock moves, this ETF, sorry, moves. So you might have made the request on a certain day where you were satisfied with the spot price, but by the time you receive the DLR-U shares, it could have gone up or it could have gone down. So you might not end up converting at the price that you actually wanted to. But when you convert directly with the broker, you get the currency of the day with a 1.5%. So it's basically it's like you're paying a premium to know exactly how much US or how much Canadian you're going to get. So because it fluctuates and because it's not immediate, you might end up with less US than predicted. What's great about it is obviously you avoid the conversion fee, and it could go your way because this ETF could go up, so you end up with more US than you expected. The same could happen, it could go down and you end up with less. But what's great about it is with Questrade, buying ETFs is free. So at least you save an additional $5 by making this trade. But when you sell the ETF, so when you sell the DLR-U, you're going to pay $5. So actually, for our $1,000 example, we saved 7 US dollars. So with the fee of selling the DLR-U, we end up saving $2. So it might not be worth it if it's a small amount. Because remember, Questrade only charges 1.5% to convert from US to Canadian. I think so. In my opinion, what's more important than converting at the exact spot price is choosing when to convert. So right now, US dollar is considered. So if we look at the 1 year, so as you can see, it's considered pretty high right now compared to the Canadian. So it might not be the best time to convert. I remember I had to convert some Canadian to US when it was trading at 1.38. So in my opinion, what's more important is to convert when to try as much as you can to convert when the US dollar is low compared to the Canadian. So I think at some point this year it reached, as you can see, 1.24. So this could have been a good time to convert, whether it was spot price or even 1.5% more than the spot price, or even September 4th, 2017 was trading at 1.20. So that would have been an even better time to convert. And of course, if you look even longer, it used to be trading at par. It used to be, the US dollar used to trade at $1 Canadian. So that would have been the perfect time to convert. Because why this is important, in my opinion, is so obviously, let's say you buy a stock, let's say you have $1,000. Let's use a bigger amount. Let's say you have $10,000, right? And you end up converting at the spot price of today, which is, let's say, 1.3. So remember, we started off with 10,000 Canadian. And then with this amount of US dollars, you buy something, say you buy a stock at $10. So you've got 769 shares. And then you end up selling it at $12. So you just made 20%. So obviously that's not bad. So you've got 9,230 Canadian. So if you're able to convert back to Canadian, because obviously your money is in Canadian, you live in Canadian. At the end of the day, you want Canadian money. So if you convert back to Canadian, let's say you're lucky and it's still at the same price, you're gonna end up with an extra 1,900. But let's say the US dollar drops after you've bought and sold your US stock, and it drops to, let's say, $1.15 or $1.20. So you convert back to Canadian, you're left with 11,000. So instead of actually making 1,900 of profit, you only made 1,000 because you lost $900 by converting from Canadian to US at a high price and then converting back to Canadian at a lower price. So what I think is more important is to keep track of your conversions. So if you convert from Canadian to US at 1.3, make sure that when you convert back to Canadian, you convert at least 1.3 or higher. And if you don't think it's possible to convert back at 1.3 or higher, then maybe it's not the right time to convert to US. Maybe keep your money in Canadian and look for Canadian stocks. Or if you do decide to convert at 1.3, then obviously make sure to keep your money in US until the US dollar goes back up or goes above the price that you converted at. So if you converted at 1.3, you should only convert back at 1 point, let's say 38 or 35. I think it's a great way to convert at spot price at the moment. But like I said, it's risky because it takes 5 business days to actually get the shares. And by the time you get the shares, the DLR-U ETF will have fluctuated for sure. So you might not get the predicted amount of US dollars that you wanted initially when you made when you made the request to journal the DLR into DLR-U. So yeah, what I think is more important is to choose the right time of when to convert from Canadian to US, and also to keep track of your conversions so that when you convert back to Canadian, you're at least at the same conversion rate or higher. And if ever the US dollar goes down, and you know that you're someone that buys US stocks, then you should definitely buy some US dollars. Keep them in an account so that you're ready to buy US stocks when you have to. Because as you could see, you could lose 30% easily from the conversion. Because if you look at 5 years, because if you look at 5 years, it was trading almost it was trading at a dollar. So if you actually converted once at $1.40 and then 5 years later you want your money in Canadian and you end up converting at $1, you just lost 40% of your initial converted money. So so I find a great way to buy US dollars. So this is one way, but like I said, because you have to wait 5 business days, you might not get the expected US dollar when you initially made the request. Another way is just to use the broker platform and just pay the 1.5%. It's not that much and it's pretty good. Another way is if you're tracking the US dollar and you see that it's trading at a discount compared to the Canadian, or you know that it's a great price to buy or to convert, what you can do is you could convert with third parties. So I like to use Knightsbridge to convert. It's all done online. I don't have to move. I don't have to go anywhere. So basically, if I have Canadian money in my bank account, I can transfer it to them by filling out this form, and basically I'll convert my Canadian to US at their now. Remember, I said Questrade takes 1.5%. They take even less than that. They take probably like zero point 0.5, maybe max 1%. So let's say spot price is 1.25, 1.29. You're probably going to end up converting at 1.2964. So if we actually want to be precise, because it's 1.29406, so if it if the spot price is 1.29406, and if you use Knightsbridge, you're going to end up converting at 1.3005. So that's something I like to do in case the US dollar drops. Then I try to get myself a reserve of US dollars at a low price. And sometimes I'll use their services because I don't have to go anywhere and they're the cheapest in conversion fee. And obviously, if it's a big amount, it's going to make a difference. And then once I have my US dollars, I can transfer it to my brokerage account directly to Questrade, for example, on the US side. So I can convert my US outside of my broker account, already have my US ready, and then transfer it to my US portion of my broker account. And this way, I don't have to use the broker's conversion method or the broker's conversion rate. So with Questrade, there's two ways of converting. So if you hold Canadian stocks and you want to buy a US stock, you can simply put an order on the US stock right away, and Questrade will convert your Canadian to US automatically. And that's what happened to me here. I obviously didn't evaluate it right, and I ended up with a negative amount. So I just have to fund my account to cover the negative. So this is an example. I had Canadian money. I placed an order on a US stock, so it converted automatically, and I didn't have to make a request. Or if I see that the US dollar is trading at a good price and I want to convert, I can go into accounts, and I'm holding Canadian dollars in my trading account, and I could just go to exchange funds and make a request to convert my Canadian to US so that my US funds are ready to be used to buy US stocks. So if we look at an example of a conversion that was done automatically, it was most likely for Vodafone here. So here you can see the conversion. So 1547 divided by 1165, 1.32789. This was done August 23rd. So if we go back and look at spot price August 23rd, which was Thursday. So you could see it was trading at about 1.305. So 1.305 times 1.015 gives me 1.324575, which was the rate we calculated by dividing my, which was the rate we calculated by dividing my Canadian over my US. All right, so this was my opinion on the Norbert Gambit way of converting Canadian to US. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. You could also message me on my website. I'll leave the link below. Remember, if you can open an account with Questrade, use my referral link below so you can get between $25 and $250 depending on your initial deposit. Also, I have another referral link that will give you $50 in free trades. The link will also be provided. So you have the choice to use either referral link, either the referral code or the referral link. If you're going to be funding your account initially with more than $10,000, then it's best to use the referral code because you're going to get more than $50. But if you're funding under 10,000, then it's better to use the referral link because you're going to get $50 at least in free trades. All right. Thanks for watching.